Welcome to the Real CP Show. I am your host, CP. In today's topic, this particular Palestinian and however other ones officer urges more Arabs in enforcement. A little uproar. Agenda activated. Question mark, right? But regardless, however, numbers of personnel, they are not concerned about Black Americans overall. And I'm not talking about the gullible and some naive ones that have no clue of what is happening, but are told that they must help other people's agendas first. Yes. And there are ones out there within certain numbers of Black Americanism that consistently, it's a mental sickness, modern day especially, that there are certain numbers of Black Americans who continue to keep trying to help other people out first, while many numbers of other people, other cultures and backgrounds, etc., don't care about Black Americans. And so in this particular situation, this Palestinian officer was like, hey, you know what? We need more Palestinian officers, and we need more Arabs in these enforcement in places like that. They didn't say we need more justice officers, did they? No. They didn't say we need more Black Americans, because Black Americans are the foundation of this country, right? And many of us that arrive in America is because of what numbers of Black American people have had to go through. Did they say that? Nope. And by the way, when you even look up Palestine or Palestinian demographics, they make up around less than 0.1%. Let me repeat this. When you look up Palestinian demographics, look it up. They only make up less than 0.1% in the U.S. And one of the biggest states in the U.S. that has more Palestinians is Illinois. Ain't that something? And then when you look up Arabs, because by the way, all Palestinians are not Arabs. You see how that little game goes, right? So much confusion. Someone says Arabs. What does that mean? Arabs is not a one-look people. Arabs make up their own ethnicities, internal ethnicities. They share, in general, an Arabicness of language, but they also have their own shared identity, or their own distinct identities within Arabness. Do you see how that goes? But of course, Black Americans are told that they are not, they supposed to just call themselves Africans. That's the whole game in itself. Well, numbers of Africans don't even call themselves Africans. So anyway, let me go ahead and share my screen on this part of it. Let me say, give me one moment here. Now, as you can see this, Illinois video shows Palestinian police officer urging Arabs to flood various U.S. enforcement departments. All right, today is May the 9th, 2026. Right? You smell a latecomer. I smell a latecomer. Do you understand? Person's parents fled, right? However, programs. There are ones that came over legally. Oh, we don't talk about that. However, situation, person's parents fled, right? Benefit off of Black pain, right? Person grows up, is able to sit there and slide into the police department. And by the way, you think that person's parents fled from Harvard placed in whatever Arabness, right? And you know the situation still going on with the Arab-Israeli situation conflict that's been going for how many generations? What, you think they just leave that stuff behind going to a police department? Are you crazy? But of course they say, oh, the Negroes, they still don't get it. A video featuring a Palestinian police officer based in a village near the Chicago area is making waves on social media after the founder of a grassroots news outlet highlighted the concerning nature of the words shared by the Palestinian officer in the video, who was encouraging those in the Arab community to join Arab police departments across the United States. Again, what? Possible agenda activated? Such and such personnel, a wannabe Anglo adjacent woman, the founder and editor. You get the point. So the video depicting this particular entity department officer identified in the post as Officer Hamand, in which the officer encourages Arabs to join the police force. During the 82-second video featuring the officer, he says to the camera, "This is just encouragement for the young community out there who want to become police officers. A police officer, as a Palestinian." Oh, did he just not say American? No, he said he made sure to differentiate himself, did he not? He said as a Palestinian. See, it's Palestinians first, right? Americans second. But of course, Black Americans, who are the most uniqueness in America, are told they're supposed to call themselves Africans. Right. When you got hundreds and hundreds of languages in Africa, hundreds of different tribes going on. And what about the many foreigners of persons over there in Africa? Say, don't you ever dare call us no Africans. Do you understand that? But of course, there's some people who still don't get that concept, right? America first or Palestine first. We are being conquered from within. Well, there's some people who agree with that. And they said the silly Negroes overall, they don't understand. This is exactly why Americans are done with the diversity hires and open borders experiment. See, here's the thing about it again. See again, the nerve of the white duck calling the white duck a DEI. Do you understand? DEI. So let's go ahead and play this video. I'm utilizing this under fair uses doctrine.
Assalamu alaikum. Ma'akum Officer Hamouda with the Bridgeview Police Department. This message is for the young community out here in Bridgeview and the surrounding areas. Just a message from me as a young Palestinian who's been doing this job for a very long time. My main message to you guys who are trying to become a police officer is to stay in school, get your college degree, associate's, bachelor's. The higher degree, the better, obviously. We're always looking for new recruits. This is not a recruiting video, but this is just encouragement for all the young community out there who wants to become a police officer. As a police officer, as a Palestinian, the more the merrier. We want to see more out of police. We want to see as much as we can grow in the force. If you can join the force, by all means, apply. It doesn't take much time. It doesn't take a lot of credit. 60 credit hours at the bare minimum. Go to school, get your associate's degree. Look on the blueline.com, Bridgeview Police. Inshallah, I'll see you guys out there if you ever. So any questions, reach out.
Right? Again, they didn't say justice first officers. They didn't say we need to get more Black American officers, because we see how Black Americans consistently are done wrong by certain numbers of bad seeds. We need more Black American good officers. We don't need coons and sellouts. We don't need no numbers of them. Do you understand? Didn't say anything about that, did he? Now, you see the Anglo adjacent woman that brought this to attention. It's made some other people. The nerve of some of these Anglo or Anglo adjacent type women. They are the progenitors of DEI, right? But see, they are filled with nonsensical feminist behavior, right? And deflectionary manipulation tactics, right? They are ingrained with this inside of them, right? On that part. Look at this for a second. Look at that. Let me show this again. You think they will talk about this DEI? DEI. Again, you think they will talk about this one? DEI. DEI. Right? Of course, they won't talk about that type of DEI, right? Because it's ingrained not to talk about this DEI. DEI. Right? Do you understand that? Do you understand? See, they won't talk about that part. So they just regurgitate some little current day mantra, DEI, DEI. You like numbers of women within the Panamese culture. The ones applies to are the progenitors of that, of true DEI. How many of them double dip? They get women's high resources, double dip going to minority. Do you understand? You see how that game goes. But how many numbers of women within certain parts of Panamese culture have a hatred toward Black Americans? I mean, that list is long. The ones that applies to. But they don't want to talk about that part. How about this for a second?
You're telling me to disarm myself. This is my family. Our safety, officer safety. We're asking you. That's not how the law works. Yes, sir, it is. Okay. You go to law school? I did go to law school. Okay. I did take the law. I am a lawyer. Okay. I don't have to disarm myself. That's not how the law works. Come here. I'm not going anywhere with you. I have not committed the crime. They know I haven't committed the crime.
Come here, Negro.
I want you to record them. I'm going to make stars out of both of them. Go ahead. I'm going to make big stars out of them. I love time. I love time like yourself.
Either you step inside or you go to jail.
I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm not your child.
You hear me say, sir? He's like, 5, 4. What about this? Pseudo DEI. Well, you think there are certain numbers of not males that can't be reverse DEI? Of course they can. Right? Now, again, they play, well, it's like reverse racism. Well, a racism. Somebody says reverse racism. You see the games they keep trying to play. How soon that people forget that slave patrols were made up of a certain type of Anglo officers. The ones applies to looking for who again? Numbers of Black folks. Do you understand? What about the various types of enforcement entities and departments, right, that were showing anti-Black American hatred toward numbers of Black officers? Oh, they don't talk about that. Do you understand that? Huh? How about 21st century numbers of Black American officers, the ones that are not scared to bring it up and say, wait a minute, yeah, there is racial racism going on in various sections of enforcement departments. They say they experienced it themselves. They saw it themselves. Oh, you got people that want to talk about that. Huh? Oh, see, these little type of DEI, type of Anglo type women, the ones applies to. See, they don't talk about these kind of bad enforcement type officers as well. They don't talk about them. That come with an ego-ness. Do you understand? That's a very dangerous. Someone has a legalness to have a this uniform on with a boom piece of equipment on their side, right? And their mentality is all off. That's a very dangerous combination. How many times have we seen this toward Black Americans? A Black pain by bad seed officer versions. And by the way, in closing, see, this system has really messed up quite a number within certain parts of American Black ism that have told numbers of, anyway, that have said, you know what? We don't need no Black officers in enforcement. Are you crazy? So while you got Black pain by these bad seed officers, the ones applies to that are happening in various sections in America, and you think there's no need to have decent Black American officers around? That's not scary. Are you crazy? That's like saying we don't need Black American political figures. Yes, we know there are some sellouts and some super coons, unfortunately. But however that minute, unfortunately, within certain numbers of Black politicalness that do try to do their thing. The problem is it's too minute. So you got a body of legislationists that legislate laws, and you got numbers of Black Americans that think that there should not be some decent Black Americans in politics. Are you crazy? When they legislate laws, when you got numbers of the within enforcement that's supposed to be wink wink enforcing these laws, and you think there's not supposed to be numbers of more Black Americans to sit there, not just enforcing law, somebody throwing a piece of paper down against the law. Well, so is racism, hatred. That's supposed to be against the law, but is that not still allowed in different parts? Hate crimes that sit there and act like it's not happening, right? How many of them are bad seeds in certain uniforms that still have a Klan mentality? Are they being swept out of those enforcement places? Not at the rate they should be. And there are ones that don't act like that. So we're not going to play that. You know how some people are saying, oh my goodness, it's not all off. Gone with that. Gone with that. That's infantile responses. Gone with that. Right? Gone with that game. You are held at a super high accountability. You should be when you put a uniform on like that, and you have the illegal person authority to have a boom piece of equipment on your side, and in certain instances can legally take that person's life in that uniform. Oh, you need to be held at a gigantic higher form of accountability. You go to an academy for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year, and should not be held accountable more. Please, there should be double accountability more. And there are bad seeds that don't want that. Do you understand? However, on that. But the point is, there needs to be more Black American officers. Point blank. Only a fool thinks that you're not supposed to have some Black American officers, not coons and sellouts, on a force. Only a fool believes that you're not supposed to sit there and not have a non-coon, non-sellout numbers of Black American political figures in politics. You have higher other different groups putting themselves in politics, and you got some naive versions of certain parts of American Blackism talking about we don't need no Black political figures. What kind of dumb stuff is that? Instead of clarifying, there needs to be no more Black American coon versions and sellouts and naivos in politics. Do you understand? And like this particular Palestinian officer, he knows what's going on. He knows what's up. They want more of their people in those positions for their own people. However it go on that. But they even talking about America, right? He said Palestinian are more Arabs. And by the way, Arabs only make up about 8%. Out of 340 plus million demographics in America, and you look up how many Palestinians overall in America, and by the way, there are some illegals. Oh, they don't talk about those versions. But let's just say estimating of 3 or 4 million Palestinian Americans, whatever that's supposed to mean. Some people add Palestinian American, it's convenient, and how others said, nope, this is a concept of Palestinian, but you're in America, right? I don't care. I'm Palestinian. I'm Palestine. Oh, but you're in America. Would you understand? No loyalty. That's a whole different topic in itself. So if you type in the number of Palestinian Americans overall in America, it's only about 4 or 5 million. And then you mathematically equationalize that with the 340 something million of population in the US, and it's only around about 1%. But you at that small percent, you're a lot of conversation, don't you? Heck, it seems like that you hear more about Palestinian issues than Black American issues. Do you understand? And how many of them ain't caring nothing about Black Americans? And by the way, see this Palestinian officer, oh, they want to talk about what about the Afro-Palestinians? Huh? What about their treatment over there? Huh? Are they quiet? And what was Palestine before Palestine? That's a latecomer word. See, you got to look through these little games people keep playing. You say Arabs. What does that mean? Because Arab is a very general sense word that, again, speaking Arabic, that is the basis of Arabicness. But at the same time, they are not some one-look people. But they run this little game upon those of Black Americans, other people saying Arabs without no clarification. You see that game in itself. They know they running game, the ones that applies to this. But they can have their own organizations, have their own political figures, but Black Americans are told, you can't be divisive. Oh, but they never tell the people that. And who in the HELL you don't define what a Black American is supposed to be about? Who the HELL these people think they are? No, the people in this society. You don't define who Black Americans are. You got these tethers running from this ancient continent of Africa, the ones it applies to, in certain parts of the beautiful Caribbean, the ones it applies to. Trying to tell Black Americans who they should be, who the HEL these people think they are. Let alone some of these other groups and people from these other different places that got the nerve to flee from their places, come to America, have no loyalty at all in a collective way, right? And at the same time, they have the nerve to try to think they have the nerve also to try to think they can tell Black Americans who they should be. Do you understand? This is a game that people keep trying to run game. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Go.